right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thanks for being with us today. We should be live. As I mentioned in the chat, let us know where you're watching from, which country, which city. I know that I often have like a very variegated audience, so I love to know where you all are watching from. As you've seen from the thumbnail and also from this video, of course, today I am not alone. I have Vinicius with us. Welcome to the stream. I'll let you introduce yourself in just a second. We have Dario. Ciao, Dario, fellow Italian. All right. What I was about to say is that, a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, this is my first time using a new platform for streaming. So do let us know how it's performing, if the video is okay, if the audio is okay. I may consider using these again in the future, but I need your feedback. Second thing, if you're here because you've received the email, the live alert, let me know, because a couple of people had some complaint saying that the emails from the newsletter are not arriving. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I do have a newsletter which I send every month, and also I send kind of live alerts whenever I go live or whenever something happens. You find a link down here. So just check that and let me know if you received the email and if it arrived. All right. With that said, again, Vinicius, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, David. It's a big pleasure to me talking your channel. I am Vinicius Moura. I am from Brazil. Nice to meet you guys, and it's a big pleasure again talking your channel. Thanks for the meeting.
My pleasure. So tell us about a little bit what do you do for a living, and then this will also become more clear when we talk about the project that we're gonna talk today, and stuff like that. So who are you? What do you do?
Today I am a DevOps consultant at Accenture, and I have been working with DevOps for 12 years, I believe, especially focus on Azure DevOps, and the latest 4 years in GitHub, of course. I've been working with Azure DevOps Team Foundation Server since first release. Today, I help my customers on DevOps journey, applying assessments, training, create automation, infrastructure as a code, testing, etc. That's it. My journey.
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted. I think that plays really well with the topic of today and what we were going to talk about, because obviously, if everybody works with Azure DevOps, and you guys in the stream know this, and I've been working with Azure DevOps for a long time as well, and there's always been some things that we missed, especially if you work in bigger organizations or you want to have under control your whole all the projects, right? Because Azure DevOps, as we all know, is a great tool with great individual features, and is also a great tool set, a suite of tools, right? Which allow you to do a lot of different things. However, as I was saying before, one thing that is really missing is, and that's the title of this video today, is some sort of like centralized control plane, centralized control center, or dashboard, or whatever you want to call it, but something that would allow you to keep an eye on the whole organization and how you're doing, and spot if you have any issue, or in general how everything is working, and if there's any area of that you need to intervene on. And I guess that's the main issue, if you will, that you tried to solve with the project you're working on, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about why you've created it? I think probably you will say basically what I just said, and what is it about?
Yeah. How can I say? I work with the TFS Azure DevOps since the first version, and I follow the product team. I talk with product team. I am a Microsoft MVP since 2015, and I create an ask about this particular tool, I believe, because I understand that the customer needs administrator and management reports to understand your process. Example, I need to understand how many repositories I have, how many builds, how many release, how many users inside my DevOps organization. This is not clear at the organization. I have this view project by project, not organization. To me, is a big problem. Yeah, and in the long path of my consulting, working exactly in large organization, it's normal. I found 2,000 repositories in your organization. It's normal, and it's very difficult to manage this organization because, example, how many repositories in my organization use code review? Because what's the process beside code review? I need to set breakpoints, but how can I verify manually 2,000 repositories? Is impossible.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
something people do in small organization. If you have 5 repositories, you can do it. But if you start having, especially in enterprise scenarios, or even not even enterprise, but we don't need to talk about 2,000 repositories. Even if you have 50 repositories, going in each one of those and checking all the stuff can be quite demanding as a task. So your work, your project starts from, or tries to solve this pain, right? This kind of scenario.
Yeah. I've been maintaining. I create a first view, first report. I believe 1 year and a half ago. I believe, including understand the APIs on Azure DevOps to create this report across organizations. After 1 year and a half, I have more than 40 examples of different reports and automations created beside Azure DevOps to understand all hubs. Example, I need to understand repositories, commits, pull requests, etc. I need to understand my release process. I need to understand my approvers. I need to understand my capacity beside teams, etc. And I will explore hub by hub on Azure DevOps, and I believe that I create a respective report.
Okay. So you said you started like 1.5 years ago. So that's been a quite a journey, I believe. Also because, as we were saying before going live, not always the documentation for those APIs and those data structure not always is very accurate, or maybe it is accurate, but it's also very hard to find. So kudos for that.
I believe that I explore not all APIs, but the 80% of APIs, I believe. Of course, I use a get method in most of cases. And I believe that I create different reports, different views, and I understand Azure DevOps beside the scenes. Not I don't have reports to show my sprint, but I have one report to show a process beside of sprint. These are managing reports.
That's probably what makes your work pretty unique. And by the way, you have admirers in the chat. There's a Charles that says that you're a monster in Azure DevOps. So I don't know if you guys know each other, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's right. And you guys we will see in a second what Vinicius was able to put together in his work. And yeah, we will see the demo in just a minute. But can you tell us first what kind of technologies you've used for doing that? And I also believe you have you took this even a step forward because you were saying you have like 40 reports and everything, but then you also have something else, right? So what technologies is all this about, and what have you done at the end?
Yeah. Using Azure DevOps APIs, I create my own ATL because I extract this data, this information using APIs. I transform this return of APIs using PowerShell and loading this information on SQL Azure. And I connect Power BI on SQL Azure and create respective reports. This is my flow. This is my ETL. APIs using PowerShell, transforming these informations and load on SQL Azure.
And this latest part is what allowed you to create some sort of centralized single pane of glass, right? Because that I think is even more interesting because one thing is having the different reports, and that's obviously interesting. But then if you have all centralized, it's even better.
Yeah. After creating 40 reports, I think about it. Why I will create one data extraction, one SQL Azure using relationship database normal, and example I will have one table that represent repositories, one table that represent users, releases, builds, packages, etc. And at the moment I get these 14 reports and convert in one data extraction. I create a merge between single reports to a unique view and create a super dashboard. At the moment of my open source project.
Okay. Well, I think. Well, first of all, I can't wait to see this. I think we've talked too much already. So, if you want to share your screen, we can see. I would say let's see a couple of those reports in action. And then we can, after that, maybe we can show where the project is and how to consume it.
I will share my screen, okay?
Yes, please.
Let's go here.
While Vinicius is sharing the screen, if you guys on the live have any question, feel free to drop it in the chat. We will try to answer as many questions as possible. So do let us know if you have anything.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
we're
ready to show. Let's see. There we go.
Oh, perfect. 1 year and a half ago, my customer asked me, Vinicius, why I have here 300 repositories, and I create the routine, the process to have code review. And beside in Azure DevOps, you need to create any branch policies to enable code review process. These are rule in Azure DevOps to ability code review. Okay, but how can I explore, verify 300 repositories in Azure DevOps organization manually. It's impossible. At this moment, I think about it. Okay, Azure DevOps has organization. Besides within organization, I have different projects. On each project, I have repositories. Within repositories, I have the full branch, and the full branch, I have policies. I create a hierarchy or idea, and I explore API on API. I explore projects API, I explore repositories API, and I explore branch policies API. Okay, then I get the 5 main policy branches, require a minimal number of reviews, include the code reviews, comment resolution, build validation, linked with work items. At this moment, I think about, okay, this on the branch policies view, I have a on-off button. Okay. And here I will create a chart that represents specific branch policy and show a bar chart that I have true or false that represent on off, of course. And here I have at this example, I have 25 repositories with a respective default branch on my organization. Inside these 25 repositories, 23 repositories, my branch policy required minimal number of reviews, it's on. But 2 repositories is false. This is a problem to me? Yes, no. This is my process, it's okay? Yes, no. And I will fix my process using this report. How can I wait off this report? I believe that if all reports has respective branch policy, to me is okay. I enable code review. This report is a process. This report enable code review. This is a sentence. This is a problem besides this report. Yeah.
At least, I mean, as you were saying, this is a problem. It's not a problem. It's up to you, the organization, to understand. But at least this gives you visibility, gives you a way to know where you're at with your branch policies in this case, but with all the other stuff, as we will see in a second.
Yeah. Follow the process. When you have a repository, create a build, create a package, and after you create a release stages to implement this code. You have, of course, here continuous integration and continuous deployment. On release process, you have different stages, example, dev, QA, and production, and you need to verify approvals on each stage. Example, if I commit one code in main branch, I need to verify if I have one manual approval in production. Example, it's necessary to verify, to audit your process, because you need to have one approver, example, in production. Follow the process, I create a second report here. This is release definitions, stage, and approvers. Here I create a matrix. On rooms, I have my release definition, and columns, I have my stages. My stages is divided by pre-approvements and post-approvements. Okay, and when I have a stage versus my release definition, I have a respective approval. If my guy here is blank, okay, I don't have approvals. If my guy is green and checked, I have approval. I map my release process here and understand how many release definitions don't have a respective approval on respective stage. Example, in my opinion, this I will filter here gamma Repo 6. Yeah, if I filter here, in my opinion, this release definition, I have a problem because I don't have pre-approval in production. This is a problem because if I approve my QA, my test, automatically my package is deployed in production. I don't have a approver by infrastructure, example, approver by stakeholder, etc. This is a problem to me. Then I create this map to understand my release and each stage that work on this release. Make sense?
Yeah, that's a great report. And in fact, now you reminded me two things. First one is I've been working in GitHub lately, and I would love to have pre-approver and post-approver in GitHub, and we don't have it yet. But that's another thing. But the second is also I was thinking, you can have multiple release definitions, for example, for even a single repo, especially if you have mono repo and stuff like that. And in real scenarios, because when we do the demos at events or stuff like that, we always have 3 repos and 2 deployments and everything is okay. Even when I do my videos on YouTube, you need to make it small because otherwise the video will be 3 hours and it's too complex. But then when you look at real scenarios like this, right? Imagine if you have to go and if your manager comes to you and it asks you, okay, in which repositories or in which release definitions I don't have approval. You will need to go to every single pipeline and check manually, or you should have to write your own API client to get this information out. With this instead, it's really easy. As I was saying before, it really gives you visibility on things that matter.
Yeah. So here, of course, you have a cascade problem. Example, you don't have code review. You commit directly in me. You don't have approvals on your release definition. Between you commit and put in production is the time of release, the time of build. Not necessarily you have intervention manual in this case. It is a big problem. Example, if you have audit in your company and the audit said, I need to verify the change management. I need to verify your release process. I need to verify the latest release implementing production. I believe that you don't have this information, but if you have one report that show your process, not to here, of course, this is a tool, but besides the tool, you have a process. I believe that the process is more important than tool. If you don't verify your process, you have a big problem.
Yeah, I agree. And we all know that compliance is a very fun thing to do, right? So this definitely helps. Yeah.
Yeah. And the third example here, the unique report. This is a single report. I created user capacities. Example.
Oh yeah, this is. I remember this. You showed me this before, and this is something that is very cool. I'll let you introduce the report, but I think this is a killer feature for basically every agile team or every team working in general.
Yeah. First scenario, you are a developer and you have only one team and only one sprint in 2 weeks. Example, sprint box, data time box. Okay, the only one team. Your capacity is totally focused on this team. This is a normal scenario in Azure DevOps. But, example, I am a consultant. David is a consultant too. You part of architecture team, database team. Normally, in companies, these guys are across teams. Example, I am an architect. I will help the team 1 2 hours. I will help team B more 3 hours, and I will help team C other 3 hours. My total capacity is 8 hours too, but I have my capacity divided by 3 teams. 3 hours in one, 3 hours in other team, and 2 hours in Team C. On Azure DevOps, these guys has a big problem because you don't have the visualization that you verify your shared capacity. I believe that this report is called shared capacity. Because example here, how can point my hours in Azure DevOps? Here, I have workday, my hours sprint by sprint. I can have individual day off. You point this information sprint by sprint, or you have teams day off. Example, a holiday. Example, in Brazil, tomorrow is holiday. I point in teams day off on my sprint. I have only 4 days, 4 work days in this week in Brazil. Example is a big example holiday. And here I can verify here Gustavo example on Tuesday 29 has day off and team A is sprint 1 because individual day off is red, and in team B it's okay. Thursday, all team is day off. In team A and team B. On this example, I get all projects on organization. I connect API projects, API teams, API sprints, API capacities, individual, and API teams day off. And I compose my total capacity. And of course, in 2 weeks, if I have 8 hours per day, if I have 10 work days, I can have 80 hours, okay? But on these 18 hours, I can have individual day off and teams day off to understand my correct capacity between all different teams on Azure DevOps.
Yeah. And this is why I was saying before, this is like a killer feature because you don't have that. You simply don't have that in Azure DevOps, right? You have some sort of visibility of cross-project collaboration, but like a team level with I forgot what not release plan. I forgot the name of the feature.
Yeah.
But you don't have anything down to capacity, team capacity, and stuff like that. So. And exactly as you said, if you're a developer, most likely you're working on a single team. Not always, but most likely you are. But for hybrid figures, or for a team like if you think about infrastructure team or all the quote unquote supporting teams, that's important to have.
This report is important because if I create a query, I have query between projects in Azure DevOps, but query verify work items, verify remaining work, completed work, and the original estimate. Queries don't verify capacity. This is a big difference, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know you have a lot of different other reports, and maybe we can go quickly through that later, but do you want to show us what is probably the best part of this, the dashboard with all the, where all of this is centralized? Because I've seen there are a few people that joined lately. So one thing that we were seeing now is we have these individual reports, but the even better feature is the centralized dashboard, the centralized report. And yet Dario said that I was talking about the plans. Yeah, exactly. I was talking about that. I forgot the name. It's 10 o'clock in the evening here. Excuse me if I'm not the brightest version of myself in this moment. Also, before we go to the dashboard, also Dario was also asking if we can get the same data through the all data feeds API, because I know you mentioned before you're using the REST APIs and you're using the normal APIs. Can we get this information through the all data feeds?
Yeah.
Do you know? Have you explored that?
Yeah. All data feeds, example, have release definitions, have repositories. Example, all data feed don't have branch policies. All data feed don't have capacities, etc. This visualization, I have analytics views only work items. All data feed have different rubs, test, release, repositories, etc. But my intention here is understand the process, understand all definitions besides Azure DevOps.
So you need to have
don't have branch policies, or data feeds don't have approvers, etc. Don't have.
So as I thought. As I thought, you can get some data, but not all. And as you mentioned correctly, you want to have the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see the dashboard now.
Yeah. I believe that 6 months ago, I think about it. I have 14 repositories. I have 14 different data extractions. But if I create only one view, one data extraction, and merge our reports, of course, create a relation database. Okay. And example, I have repositories table, users table, packages table, release definitions table, etc. Okay, that's makes sense. And now, at the moment, I am converting these 40 reports and one data extraction. At the moment, I convert 15 reports on this solution, okay? But here I create a complete documentation to implement in your company. After that, I will show my repository and I will show this open source structure. And here I will explore all reports that I convert to this unique solution, okay? Let me see. The first rub, or the first feature on Azure DevOps is process, because I need a process template to create a project. And Azure DevOps deliver 4 basic 4 process templates: Scrum, Agile, CMMI, and Basic. But you can create your own process, your inherited process. Large companies, enterprise companies create your own process. It's normal, correct, Dave?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And here, it's normal too. When I create my own process, normally 19% of companies create your customized fields. I create the main example. I need to create a blocked field to represent my card is blocked on my task board. This is the basic example. Correct, Dave?
Yeah, well, I would have many other examples, but yeah, it's very very common. Everybody does
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But I need to verify other process template create the same field because I don't have duplicate this field. It's normal in large enterprise too. And here I create a map that I list all process templates. Besides this process template, I have workit and types. And here I have my fields. And here, exactly, on my rooms, I have workit and fields. On columns, I have workit and types. And my group is process template. And here I can verify, which process template creates a custom dot bloqueado. In Brazil, bloqueado. In English, block.
Locked.
Okay, I put a respective field and I verify. Only process template Azure na prática created a field custom block on workit and type task. Fields is created across organization. I can get this exact field and use on other process template. It's possible in Azure DevOps. I don't need to create other field that represent block. Okay, this is one field. Example here. I can verify all tasks. Okay, here I have task, and here I have field example. Working example triage. Okay, and here I have only two process templates that contains the triage field on my process template. This is a map to verify where you use respective field on respective process template on respective workit and type. This is a totally map. Okay.
Gotcha. And you were saying before that in the dashboard right now you've integrated 14 repos, 14 reports over your total of 40, right?
Yes, the tendency is there. Is here. I get the unique report, put on the database relationship, and create a new visualization. This is my actual backlog.
Okay, gotcha. So
yeah.
So you are going to basically bring in the centralized dashboard all the reports.
Yeah, because after before that I have example. I had repository name in different views and different tables. Now I have only one table that represents repository. I normalized my structure.
So it's also easier to get the data out of it, I guess, right?
Yeah. One step, I get my process and I get my projects. And I verify. At this moment, I believe that I have, I create a card here. here, card. Okay, I card, and I have my projects, and I have my count. At this moment, I have 182 projects on my organization. Okay. Besides these 182 projects, 144 is using Agile process template. 124 is Scrum. And here I have different inherited process and example here. What is the project is using process template resolved closed? Okay, the process template is resolved closed. The team project name is resolved closed too. And here, how many projects using CMMI? How many projects using aggregator process? How many projects using work item rule? And here I have a filter beside process template and projects.
Yeah, with the unified data structure you're creating, obviously it's much easier to correlate data and to be able to to query.
Example, this here. This is my, of course, this is my relation database.
Your data model, yeah.
Yeah, my data model. I connect to Azure SQL, and if I create the relationship when I create my database, Power BI reflects my data model. It's normal. Next, project stats. On Azure DevOps, you have this visualization. Wait a moment.
Yeah, maybe we can go through one more, and then let's see the repo. So I'm pretty sure people are interested to see where they can see the code and where they can start playing with this.
Yeah. Example here. When you put on respective project, you have project stats here. Latest commits, work items created in the last 30 days. Okay, but you have this information project by project. I put this information in one visualization. You have work items created, completed, pull requests created, pull requests completed, commits, builds, releases, visualizing all projects in your organization. These are only view. That's fine.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Next, here I have 3 informations inside your repositories, and on Azure DevOps you have these 3 views in different tabs. Example here, I have my projects, I have my repository, I have respective default branch, I have all branch policies, I have branch ahead, behind, and pull requests to show all informations inside only one view. Because of that, my this view, the name is Azure Repos Health Check.
Yeah, and I think it's a proper name because you have a single pane of glass in which you can see the status really of your repo.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat because I do think this is pretty cool. So where can we see these? Where is the code? Where can we start playing with this thing? Where do you have it?
Yeah. I will show at the moment. I will show my repository. Okay.
Yep.
Here I have my my open source project. At this moment, I have 523 stars. Yes. Many
Congratulations.
guys
Congratulations.
Yeah, consuming this repo. Yeah. The characters here, I have on each hub, I create on each report, I create a respective blog post on Medium that exemplify the problem, exemplify the solution, and show me the code. Example here, capacities. I click here, and here I have I show the problem, I show the visualization, and I exemplify each part of my PowerShell. I exemplify how can I create this respective report step by step.
Wow, this is huge. So you have that for every of your reports?
Yeah. Sorry?
I mean, you have these, these examples and code, and basically you have an article for each of your reports.
Yes.
Wow.
And here I have 14 reports. I have 40 blog posts on Medium that exemplify my solution. Okay. After that, after create report by report, if you explore all reports here,
can you make it a little bit bigger? I think if you can zoom in the browser, it's a little bit easier to read. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And our reports folder represent the unique view on dashboard. Here you can implement this solution on your organization because I exemplify my HCL, REST API, PowerShell, Azure SQL, and Power BI. Here I create here. You can create one SQL database. You need to create one SQL Server and database, sorry. Here, if you run create tables.sql, you create your data model on your database, of course. And here, you run, you install SQL Server PowerShell module, because I use batch inclusions. Okay, and here I use the Azure DevOps extension featured on Azure Clip. Okay, and here put on this folder and run one of. At this moment I have 10 PowerShell, but one PowerShell called all other PowerShells. Okay, I begin using process PS1 and need to pass person access token, organization name, and string connection from database to load informations on SQL Server. The solution creates a log file to understand all tables that you included any informations. Okay. And here I have a section to you download Power BI reports. The suggestive name of Power BI is one report to rule it now.
I love that.
Yeah. And here you connect your view, put on connection string from your database. And here, after that, you connect your Power BI report and navigate in different views here. Okay.
Wow. You did a lot of work, man. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how you do it. You have a lot of stuff there, and guys, go and check it out. You have the link on screen. I will put the link in the video description as well. Go give some love to Vinicius and his repo. Go star it and follow him on GitHub, because I think this project is really interesting. It took you a long time to do it, so I hope people do recognize the whole thing.
The last example of a report. Sorry, I believe that all audience know this visualization to verify if your DevOps is on or off, it's have a problem or not. And here, side of this site, product team enable a public API. Public API is not not need authorization, not need a personal access token. This is a public information, okay? But I verified this repo, this view. I understand. On rooms, I have my rubs on Azure DevOps, my features, my main rubs. And on columns, I have a Azure region that Azure DevOps is deployed. Okay. I think about it and I create my visualization about this site. Here I have Azure DevOps Service Have. I get the same public API. I put on map and I navigate on this map. Example, I will navigate in Brazil. I put on the mouse and I have a legend to show the respective rubs. This is the same information, show the different way. I believe
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So we have, first of all, we have Dario saying great work, and yeah, you've done an outstanding work. So congratulations for that. Also, Dario asking if it's possible to use SQL Server instead of Azure SQL. I believe it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. I have normal because you put a connection string. It's normal. And other question that create is it only Azure DevOps services, or I can use these APIs on Azure DevOps server in both solutions.
So yeah, it works. It works also for server. That's great to know as well.
Yeah. I have
Because
a
lot of
customer
clients.
I have a customer that this customer has Azure DevOps server and consume the reports normally.
Yeah, there's a lot of people still on Azure DevOps server, so that's obviously something good to have. I think that, in my opinion, what I like is that if you run it on SQL Azure, for example, you can automate your PowerShell script for for the ingestion of the data, maybe with whatever it is. If you want to do it Azure Functions or something like that, it's easier. Obviously, you can automate it on-prem as well. No one says you can't, right? But let's go cloud, guys.
Yeah.
One thing I just remember when I said that you can automate it is that you don't only have reports in your repo, but you also have automations there, right? You did develop some automations.
Yes. I believe that I share my screen again. Yeah. I love one automation here. I will get a PowerShell. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. PowerShell. Okay. Think about the scenario. I just create my project. Of course, I create a team, and at the moment you configure a new team, you need to create sprints. On Azure DevOps, you have a problem because you need to create sprint by sprint. Example, you create a first sprint, 2 weeks, and when you create a second sprint, the view is show the new dates after 2 first sprints and create a cascade. Okay, is that normal?
Yep.
But if you need to create 8 sprints, you click on button, create sprint, click on button, create sprint, click on button, create sprint. It's a problem. Okay, I create an automation. I will show the code after that. And here I will get a script here. Wait a moment. here I will put create iteration. I will pass respective parameters here. I will pass my personal access token. Of course, I will revoke after this talk. My organization URL, my project name, my team name, my start date, and the number of sprints. Okay? If I go to my team, here is my team. I don't have sprints. I don't have selected sprints. I just here I have the project and the team name. If I execute this automation, I will connect on my organization and the team project, and I will create six sprints. Each sprint has 2 weeks. Of course, I create a time box, and I create sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Wait a moment. Oh, here I create sprint 1. And wait a moment.
Yeah, it takes a while, I guess.
Yeah. Wait, sprint 1, sprint 2. On this example, I will show the code. But here I am using Azure DevOps CLI. Okay, sprint 2. Here I will on project settings, I refresh my page, and here I have 2 sprints. And on configuration team, I have selected 2 sprints. Okay, create sprint 3. Sprint 3, sprint 4. Here I have selected sprints on team configuration. Not
Yeah.
now.
Is doing.
Yeah.
And these are also in your repo, right? The same repo we've seen before.
I will show the code at the moment. Here, PowerShell. Here. Okay, here. PowerShell. Azure DevOps. PowerShell. Create iteration here, and here I have my PowerShell. I have my parameters. I connect Azure DevOps, use it as a DevOps login. I configure my project, connected project, and here I create a loop and to interact on my number of sprints. I get sprint 1. I calculate. I set the final date, and at the create iteration, I use this command line as a board's iteration project create, and included the respective iteration on my team. I use it as a board's iteration team add. After that, I create 6 sprints. And here, if I connect my Azure DevOps, refresh, I have 6 sprints, and I included these 6 sprints on my team configuration. That's it.
Cool. And if you go back to your repo, I've seen you have many other automation scripts in there. Can you walk us very quickly through those automations?
Yeah, other automation here. I can PowerShell. I have automation to create your repositories. Example, I don't use anymore the view to create my repository. Here I create. I use Azure DevOps CLI. Here I use Azure Repos create to create a respective repository, and I set breakpoints. I create a function, and here I have my function. to create branch policy. Example here, I send the repo ID that I created step before, and I use branch policies to create required number of reviews. This is a command line. Command line to link work item and code. This is a respective command line. These are comment required, command line, and policy required to link a respective group or user to verify a respective repository. Because of that, I need to standardize my repo creation, because different users create different ways of your repos. I create a process, describe my process on this PowerShell, and create the repository at the same way. This is a problem that I resolved.
Yeah, and I was going just to say that this is very good for standardization, and
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of companies over time doing their own scripts and stuff like that. But I think no one has ever put it, at least as far as I know, no one has ever put it out there. And I think you, as I mentioned before, you've done a terrific job for. Not only for creating all those repos and reports and automations, but also for putting it out there. And as I said before, you guys go and check the repos out. You've seen just a small subset of what Vinicius has created. All the reports, automation, and everything that I think is pretty cool. And for us as Azure DevOps users. Possibly Azure DevOps administrator, it's something that is really, really helpful for everybody. All right, so again, you have the repo. I put once again the repo URL on screen, so you have it there.
This is another repo here. The new comments here. The extra points. After explore Azure DevOps, I believe that 3 months ago I began to explore GitHub APIs. Yeah, at the moment I have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reports that explore GitHub APIs. I believe that my open source project on this and next year is convert Azure DevOps in only view and explore more and more GitHub APIs. Okay. Example, yesterday I create this report. List user repositories and the respective stargazers on GitHub to identify on the timeline how many stars do you have. Example, and here I list my public repository, of course, and my account Vinicius Moura. Here I have my repository Azure DevOps. At the moment I have 5 to 3 stars, and I show month by month the stars that I give a win. Yeah, and example, January I have 114 stars on my repo. I show the timeline stars. It's a example to explore GitHub API.
Gotcha. Cool. So basically, you're also exploring that route. Now that you've done it all for Azure DevOps, it's the time to simplify the life of GitHub administrators as well. Because in fairness, if Azure DevOps lacks of a centralized view, so does GitHub even more. So for some things. So that's well received.
two open source projects that
Yeah,
I
great.
focus on DevOps, on administration. This a rule, this a problem, this is my tool.
Pretty cool. Again, congratulations for all your work. We have, I think we've shown everything we had planned. If there's any question, that's the moment to ask it. If not, we're going to I guess we're going to close it here. While we wait to see if there's any question, let me remind you that, well, first of all, come join the Discord. Let me put all the links on screen. So I do have a Discord server where we, if you have any question about DevOps, Azure DevOps, or GitHub, or Kubernetes, or anything like that, feel free to come and ask. That's free, of course. There's a lot of people in there, and quite a nice community. I do have the Facebook page, and in fact, if you're watching from Facebook, because today I decided to stream to both GitHub and Facebook. Hello, it was my first time going live on Facebook as well. Hopefully everything went well. And if you want to know, next time I'll go live. And if you want to see other projects and stuff like that, do subscribe to the newsletter. Also is free. And I don't spam too much. It's just one newsletter a month, and then the email when I go live. All right. So if there's no other question, Dario also said again, thanks a lot. Again, great work. He said you'll get another star on your Git repo. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That.
No, but you deserve that. You deserved it. And grazie, Dario. Was a pleasure having you in the chat and with us tonight, or tonight for me at least. So it's nice because it's morning for Vinicius in Brazil. It's like afternoon for Dario in Italy, and it's evening 10:30 p.m. here in Hong Kong for me. So we cover the whole world. All right. With that, I think I'm gonna close it. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thanks, Vinicius, for being so kind to be live with us today as well. And hit the like button below if you like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more of this. See you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.